short-term review of owning the VB WRX. I have the 2022 in the limited trim in Solar Orange Pearl. I picked it up about 2 months ago or so. Some of my thoughts and run it through its paces. I do come from a WRX background. I owned a 2006 Rally Blue. Then I had a Midnight Navy. Among that background, I've driven trucks. I've owned a couple different types of Subarus, a Crosstrek, Outback. My wife has an Ascent right now. Very comfortable with the brand. And going into the WRX, I traded in my 2021 Tacoma. It's just that SR5 basic. I got a real good trade on it, and it made this a easy decision. I actually went into the dealership, Groove Subaru in Denver, which I'll link, to check out an STI, a used STI. And what do you know, we show up and there's another guy in line who wanted to look at the car at the exact same time. It was just one of those things. It was like, you know, there's like that tension in the stare. Like, who's gonna get it? And he ultimately ended up getting it. So we went to lunch, we came back, he had bought the car. I was like, all right, you know, something better must be around the corner. And it surely was. So the dealership failed to mention that they had a used 22 WRX that they had just taken in. They pull it around. It's in this new solar orange that I had never seen before, but I fell in love with it right away from the looks. I know there's a lot of hate on, you know, just the way that the new platform looks. I'm just going to leave that to the side. I'm not going to persuade anyone. I was down with it. You know, when I first saw it, it reminded me of like an old KTM bike from motocross days. And so we got in it. We did the test drive. And I put on a song. It was just like on shuffle. But because this had the Harman Kardon sound system, I was able to test that out. First song that comes on is Tyler, the Creator's Yonkers, which, if you know, is a pretty grimy beat, and I just felt like I was in the moment. It clicked. I'm buying another WRX. So since then, I've had some time to solidify my thoughts on what my experience has been with it and give YouTube, the people who are considering this, an honest appraisal of whether it's worth the money. So when I purchased it, this was listed just around $30,000. And it had around 29,000 miles on it. Currently, I have 33,193. I live in Colorado, and so I desired the all-wheel drive. The pink cloud was there like the first week, you know, coming from a Tacoma. I felt the power. It floored me, really, you know, that in stock form it had so much get up and go. As anyone who buys a WRX, I fell into the community, watching a lot of videos, checking out maintenance, you know, milestones. I've gotten a couple oil changes already, tires rotated. I had to take it back into the dealership for a issue that kind of came up that I noticed when I was going over bumps. Turned out to be like a boot on the suspension, and part of the tire rod needed to be worked on. So I got that taken care of, but I will note that I almost didn't go to the dealership and bring it up because I was thinking this is probably just the way that these cars ride. I knew a WRX was going to be rowdy, but I didn't think the stock suspension was going to be this tight, this loud, this reactive to the ground. You know, in Colorado, we have a lot of dips. We have a lot of cracks in our road. The weather gets to them really badly. So, you know, maybe down the line I'll get some coilovers or do some suspension things to it, which kind of brings me to, you know, my experience with this car being modifications are a problem. Like, I think about modifying my car every day, and I've already spent about $1,000 on it. The biggest one was I got a Remark black polished exhaust. So that totally changed the way that I was able to connect to the car, the way it sounds. It's just like a really aggressive deep tone that you can hear in the cabin. I'm not gonna lie, it's loud. And not until like 75 does the drone kind of go away, but I appreciate that. I'm glad I can hear the gears. I'm glad I'm able to feel the RPMs and know a little bit more about when I want to shift. So for me, that's a good thing. But the stock exhaust was by no means bad. But if you own a Subaru, if you own a WRX, I should say, you've probably thought about modifying it, and I would highly recommend the Remark exhaust. I got the black because I knew it was going to match this orange. And that was a lot of the theme that I started modifying too. Is I got rid of red decals, you know, the amber on the car. Like I smoked those parts of the tail light and different parts on the side of the car. I may want to get rid of the cladding someday with a paint, but I don't know. It just sounds so expensive and kind of like kind of a bit of a silly thing to do with my money when there's so much more that I could be doing with it. So what else? I got the Cobb shifter stop, and so I was able to tighten up those gears. That 1 to 2 second, first to second gear slop is totally a real thing. I remember seeing YouTubers talking about it, and all the installs I'm talking about that I've done, I'll leave links to the dudes that I watched that showed me how to do it, so you can go follow them. I am not a install reviewer. This is actually my first review on YouTube ever. The other mod that I installed was just this simple little Grim Speed shift knob. I shouldn't even say install. I just, attached it and removed the old one. Another thing is I got this awesome wireless charger that keeps my phone in place, charges, slides around a little bit, but it's pretty sticky, keeps it where it needed to be. It's just a reach away. And with that, I upgraded wired CarPlay to the wireless. The wire, dude, that thing is so intermittent. I don't know if it's my unit. I've tried different cords. I have an iPhone 15, and I could hardly get it to go a trip without interrupting twice on me, and it's not like it just disconnects for a second. Like the whole system will take like a minute or two to re-enable itself. So that became pretty annoying when you're trying to like jam out to some music and stuff, or you need navigation. It's definitely an interruption. So the wireless CarPlay and the wireless charger were a must. That's pretty much all my thoughts at first here. Owning it for about 2 months. A couple things that I have on my mind for what's next. To be honest with you guys, I started entertaining the idea of like a different car. I have a baby on the way. Me and my wife are pregnant. We are expecting any day now. So I started thinking about like a family car. Maybe like an Acura Integra. It's not really like a family car, but an automatic, like something with some more luxury. I went and test drove one of those. I'm looking at this new Honda Civic Hybrid, and even like RAV4s and CRVs and Accords and stuff like that. I've always been more of like a Honda, Subaru, Toyota guy. I test drove a Prius. That was actually the car that I was competing this up against when I was deciding what I would trade my Tacoma in on. And it was nice for sure. Great tech in there, but it didn't have that spice. That would have been like the smart, practical thing to do at the point of filming. Now this could always change, but I'm keeping this car. I'm gonna give it's at least 1 year review. I want to put it through its paces. I'm not sure everything that I want to do to it, or everything that I'm going to do to it, but a couple things like I mentioned: tires, wheels. I've got mud flaps coming. I've got the rain guards for the side windows, the side window deflectors, moonroof air deflector for the top, just for practicality and maybe reduce the noise a little bit. Scratch guards for the side. Scuff guards, that's what they're called, for when you get in and out of the car, cabin. I may want to replace the grill. Might go with like a sport grill or a noble grill to give it a little better look, in my opinion. I want to maybe even put like a snowboard carrier on top with the crossbar set. And of course, and the suspension I mentioned earlier, but of course, tuning comes to mind, and I am honestly afraid of that because I have the extended warranty. I know it would diminish the trade-in value. It may not change it that much if I were to sell it. I may need to part all this stuff out anyways to just sell those individually. I want to keep this going well. I don't want it to blow up, and I don't want to push major power, but I want to try to get rid of that rev hang. I want to get rid of a little bit of the lag, and it would be nice to have extra power. I'm thinking like going up to 315 horsepower, 350 torque, you know, something like a stage 2 tune, I guess, with the intake, intercooler, maybe the cat back and J-pipe. But yeah, that's all a lot of money. And, you know, with the modifications I want to do, I totaled up the other day. It's like $8,000. So that's the last thing I want to say about this and closing out this review. You will love this car if it is what you're looking for. It's in your budget. It hits the features that you want. You enjoy the look. You enjoy the interior. You like how it drives. Go drive one if you haven't yet. And you'll want to modify it. It's just this like chemical response when you become a WRX owner is you start noticing all the other cars. And maybe I'm more susceptible than others, but I want a car I'm proud of. I want to make it my own. And I'm going to continue to innovate with that. And so I just want to say thanks to the reviews I've been watching, the people who I've been watching on YouTube, Heavy Metal WRX, Kevin Vo, the shops, you know, like Subi Speed, Subi Mods. I've been watching Subi Speed for such a long time. Who else is good? Import Image, Rally, and yeah. Oh, an auto enthusiast. Thank you to you guys for inspiring me to lay down these thoughts and to give my feedback, which is just your average dude. I'm not a YouTuber. I just thought I felt passionate about this and I wanted to get this out. So hopefully that helps. Thank you for watching the video, and I hope you have a great day.